Hello everyone, it's Stray Faye here with another episode of Variable Barricade. Alright, we're almost done with Ichiya's second board, and Hibari finally got to see a true side of Ichiya without the veneer of the flirt. Without that flirty veneer, on the inside he's just a very, very sensitive man, just looking for someone to love him. And yeah, the whole debacle with Hibari just set him over the edge, and like the poor man just couldn't stop bawling. Alright, we're almost through with this board, so now we get to learn a little bit more about Ichiya. Seems he has some sort of probably like childhood trauma, or maybe dating trauma, because all his ex-girlfriends have left him for being too nice. Although it's probably happened before he started dating people, because he's always looking for some sort of validation, and he just seems to be way too nice to all his girlfriends that they end up leaving him, because it just seems to be an act. No one gets to see the real Ichiya except for Hibari. She seems rather pleased to see him crying. Alright, so let's do these little mini chapters here. This little branching chapter. A new door. I tell Samugi about seeing Ichiya break down, and she insists. A new predilection is waking up inside me. What? Okay, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh no, is she gonna become either sadistic, or is she gonna awaken? A lot of themes in this game is just awakening to weird things. Gonna enjoy comforting him. Alright, let's begin. I can hardly believe that actually happened. I never expected to have a grown man bawl in my presence like a little child, that's for sure. It took me entirely by surprise. I like how you tell all of Ichiya's dirty laundry except for the kiss. You didn't tell anyone about that. Morning classes are finished, and it was lunchtime. I sat with Samugi in a sunlit corner of the cafeteria, telling her all about what had happened. But I think that might have been for the best. I suppose me seeing him cry must have been the last push he needed, because he talks to me normally now. Okay. That's what she wanted. She just wanted him to talk normally. Yes, he'll still try to posture and flirt sometimes, but now I find that somehow endearing. Yes, just like a puffed up pigeon or something. Samugi, are you listening? Is she broken? I looked curiously at Samugi, who had been sitting in complete silence this entire time. I just realized that she was trembling when she let out a long, passionate sigh. Ah, so adorable. Okay, more Dojin stuff. Adorable? Ah, yes, oh yes. The mature and composed older man, breaking down and giving you a glimpse of his tender vulnerability. A childish side of him that only you're allowed to see. Ah, I can hardly stand it. Well, as long as he doesn't have a diaper fetish or something. Not go down that route. An older bottom? A ditzy top. There are so many genres this story could fit into. So many different directions for the plot to go in. Are we talking about bottoms and tops here? This is boys' love? Bottom and top of what exactly? And why is she talking about genres and plot? She ignored my confused look and giggled to herself rather creepily. I don't mind adding. I got the feeling that it was probably best not to ask too many questions. Let's not go into that world, Hibari. Stay innocent. Besides, if I told her about the kiss, she'd probably get so excited she'd ignite. I told her most of what had happened, but I couldn't bring myself to mention that part. I knew she would go berserk, and the thought frankly terrified me. Anyway, that's what happened. Ichiya and I have reconciled, and we've gone back to the way we were before. Lovely, lovely. That's so good to hear, Hibari. I mean it. It was so painful to watch you the other day. I'm sorry. Sheesh. Can we drop this now, please? It's embarrassing. Oh, of course. I completely understand. We are best friends after all. That's what you said right before you betrayed me. I grunted at Tsumugi, taking a sip of my after-lunch coffee. After a minute, she looked up, raised a finger, as if she just remembered something. Oh yes, the adorableness of it all aside. Hibari, what are you gonna do about Mr. Mitsumori's past? Oh, right. Yeah, we didn't really hear anything about it. Just like, it troubles him greatly, though. Oh god, the tears. It's always been this way. Even back when I was a boy. I thought I'd finally grown up a little, but under it all, I'm still the same old pathetic kid. No matter how hard I try, nobody loves me. I just want to be loved by anyone. I tried to work for it, to learn how to make people happy so that they love me. I still want to ask him about it, I think, but given how he broke down when he brought up even just a little bit of his past. Yes, it does seem like there may be some rather deep-seated issues involved here. Yeah. Do you think I ought to wait a little before asking again? I don't want to pressure him too much if it's a sensitive topic. You may have been distraught at the time, but I think Mr. Mitsumori knew exactly what he was telling you. I take that to mean he's prepared to talk about it, in which case waiting may just drag things out. That's true, I suppose. If I hadn't seen Ichiya so distraught, I doubt I would have hesitated to push him to tell me more about his past. But now... But... I feel a little bad for him. Hibari, I think seeing him cry has done some strange things to you. Tsumugi, I think you're just strange. I think you're just strange yourself. What? No, it hasn't. Are you sure you aren't thinking about how, if you pressure him for more of his past, you might get to see him break down again? That's what we don't want to do. We don't want to make him break down. I assure you, madame, Mr. Mitsumori is an adult. What happened the other day is undoubtedly the exception, not the rule. Poking him a little won't make him cry. Do you think so? You seem awfully disappointed to hear me say that. I mean, I guess it did take all the way to this point to even, like, see a tear come from him. He was able to keep it together for the most part. I am not. Yes, you are, very much are. I can see it in your eyes. They speak to me. They tell me I'm the only one who can make this grown, mature man cry. They did no such thing. Oh, they do. Don't worry. It's hardly uncommon. Once you discover your hidden inclinations, it's so hard to resist pursuing them. Tsumugi? Listen. No. Answer me truthfully, madame. Don't you want to see Mr. Mitsumori weeping at your feet one more time? Think back to the tears. I ignored her, calmly taking a sip of my now ice-cold coffee. Be honest. I'm not saying. Tsumugi sighed heavily and looked at me with motherly warmth. It'll happen when you come to terms with your taste. Things will go more smoothly if you just accept it. Why are you trying to turn her into one? Come to terms with what? Ugh. I had the sinking feeling Tsumugi was terribly mistaken, but I had to admit, a little corner of my mind wouldn't mind seeing it again. That's not an inclination, though. It's only because he said I'm the only one who's seen him cry like that. Yes, that's it. It isn't because I want to see him cry. It was special because he hadn't shown it to anyone before. That's all it was, really. Ah, well. If I continue to pursue this thread, I might push things too far. I'll leave it be for now. But do keep in mind, Hibari, the closer you go to Mr. Mitsumori, the less and less you'll be able to ignore the buried secrets of his past. I'm aware of that. I nodded. Sugi looked at me, her brows furrowing slightly. It was a habit she had when there was something difficult or sensitive that she wanted to bring up. If possible, I think it may be wise to ascertain what exactly is going on before you grow a little too close to him. Tsumugi? Yeah, it's gotta be like something we can handle. From all that I've heard, Mr. Mitsumori is by no means an evil person. I'm sure of that. But if there's even a small chance something's amiss with him, I don't want to see you get hurt. There's no teasing look in Tsumugi's eyes. She was stone serious. She was honestly concerned for my well-being. Thanks, Tsumugi. I'll do my best to bring it up as quickly as I can, without being too insensitive. Eventually, the school day ended. I was walking towards the front gate when I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. A whiz message had arrived, apparently. The caller ID on my lock screen showed me only a name. Oh, it's from Ichiya. I unlocked my phone and brought up the whiz message screen. I know this is sudden, but do you have free time this weekend? I want to take another crack at a date with you. Redo? A redo of what, I wondered. It took a minute to ponder what exactly it could be before I realized what I was doing. Could it be what I think it is? I started to feel a little excited as I considered the message's meaning. Then I heard a ping. Another message had popped up on my screen. I want to apologize for what happened last time, and I want to talk. Maybe what Tsumugi suggested was correct. I was almost certain that's what he wanted to talk about involved his past. If so, I had even less reason to say no. My schedule is open. I'll be home soon, though. Why not ask me in person? I accepted the invitation, perhaps with a little more snark than strictly necessary. I'd hoped he'd pass it off as simply me trying to hide my embarrassment. A moment later, another message arrived. Sorry, I didn't think I could take the shock if you said no to my face. Still, I'm glad you can go. Thanks. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, that's so cute! An unintentional but honest reaction. What on earth? What's gotten into him? Did a new, honest personality suddenly awaken in him? There was no flirting, no pickup lines, no posturing, just this raw, exposed vulnerability. My fingers typed a response. My mind was blank. If you say so. I'm looking forward to it. Whew. I hit the send button, feeling like I'd made a great accomplishment. I sighed, and my fingers moved to close the app. Oh, right. I should send a message to Kazu about this later, too. Oh, well, that aside, if anything happens between you and Mr. Perfect Boyfriend again, will you let me know? Great. I'll keep my fingers crossed that everything turns out for you. I hadn't filled him in on anything since my second date with Ichiya. Besides, if Kazu's wishing me well, it really does feel like everything will turn out for the best. I was sure this date would be a light-hearted outing, but since he had billed it as a redo, I wanted it to go smoothly. I made my way to the car, waiting for me, anxiety and excitement fluttering my chest in equal measure. Okay. Interesting. I'm pretty sure at this point, Kazu can't be Ichiya. Their personalities are way too different. So I'm gonna guess. I mean, if they're not the same person, but they look alike, I guess they're probably family. Alright, here's hoping for good news. Thanks for getting in touch. Good luck on your date with Mr. Tryhard Boyfriend. I hope you do get to hear about his past. I do too. But I can't say that I am all sure I will. I have a little faith in him, lol. If it does work out, well, I'll have a little celebration for you. Thank you. I'll keep my hopes up. Good. I will too. For you and Mr. Tryhard. Him? Hopes for what? Good question. That he'll make you as happy as you deserve to be? Oh, that is a good question. I guess it depends how well the date goes. I'll be cheering for you. Thanks. If it goes well, I'll be sure to let you know. I'm curious. I was like, what is their connection here? There's clearly a connection. It's like kind of ironic. We keep gushing about Mr. Tryhard Boyfriend. And I'm pretty sure Kazu probably knows who Mr. Tryhard Boyfriend is. Let's do this next branch here. Request via Wiz. Having reaffirmed his feelings, Ichiya gathers up the courage to apologize for stealing that kiss. Let's play this event. Gotta get to the big chess piece on the board. When Hibari left for school, I cleaned up the leftovers from breakfast. Once the last plate was washed, I put it away and let a heavy sigh escape me. Usually the four of us handled lunch on our own, getting whatever we wanted. However, today I was stuck cooking for all of us. Yeah, it was basically an apology for hiding in my room all day yesterday and worrying everyone. Why do you have to cook though? No one else does anything in the house. Hamburgers, curry, gratin. Yeesh. Could they possibly have picked meals more different from each other? Heck with it. I can put them all together in hamburger curry Doria. That'll work. And they better not complain. Yeah, get out the hamburger helper or something. It's like hamburger with mac and cheese in there. Shion would probably have a snide comment or two, but I was pretty sure I could coax him into it. I washed my hands and started pulling out the ingredients I'd need. Grabbing an onion out of the fridge, I peeled off its skin and started slicing into it. A few seconds later, my eyes started to prickle and burn. I grimaced, wiping a trickle of tears away. Oh no, this reminds you of when you broke down. Huh. I'm surprised there's anything left to wring out after yesterday. Just thinking on it was mortifying. Me breaking down in front of a high school girl and bawling like a baby. That kind of pathetic behavior could ruin a love steeped across centuries. Never mind my own meager attempts to court Hibari. I wish I could erase everyone's memories. Still, that breakdown let me set a lot of things straight in my head. I guess I can't say that it was entirely a useless, embarrassing experience. If you keep giving up, you'll keep losing things that are important to you until you have nothing left. Nothing? Right, nothing. That's why, even if it seems pathetic, even if it seems uncool, we still have to get up and keep trying. That's what I've always done. It isn't like she has any clue about my circumstances. But she still managed to tell me the exact words I needed to hear. I dumped some diced veggies in a saucepan and began sautéing them, my mouth turning up in a smile. Man, Hibari really is amazing. The babe's what now? Did I accidentally say that out loud? Startled by the sudden interruption, my hand twitched. I dropped the hamburger I was trying to flip. I hurriedly slipped the spatula under the patty and flipped it properly. Turning, I saw Taiga standing next to me, smirking. Don't startle me like that. I'm working over a hot stove here. Things, or people, could get burned. Hey, I'm hungry, Kay. When I'm hungry, I inevitably find my way into the kitchen. Is the food ready yet? Does it look ready? How about you go sit at the table and wait like a human being with actual manners? Naita's getting antsy too. If anyone's gonna barge into the kitchen next, it'll probably be him. There's still breakfast leftovers in the fridge. Ham and cheese casserole. Eat that if you're really worried you'll waste away. Yeah. Ugh, these guys had no manners. None whatsoever. And he distracted me too. I sighed and tried to find my veggie chopping mojo again. Hey, Ichiya. What? Don't tell me that you want more. That's all there is right now. I'm not gonna complain, God. I just wanted to know if you'd apologized to her yet. Huh? Taiga's smirk from before was gone. Instead, his tone had turned a touch hesitant. I mean, you and her went out that one night, right? When she came back alone. She was crying too. Ah, that night. The night my perfectly planned date went directly to hell, and I screwed everything up with her. She went right back to her room, so it's not like I got a good look or anything, but she sure seemed upset to me. You two were real awkward around each other for a while after that. Then that whole incident with you hiding in your room, I had to wonder what was up. Sorry. Nah, you don't have to apologize to me. Or the other guys, really. You're paying us back by cooking, right? He really does not have to do any of that. Ah, well. Seems like you two worked everything out between you two. So I didn't say anything. But are you sure you've done everything that needs doing? Yeah. Good point. Thanks, Taiga. No probs, bro. Now get lunch ready for us, Kay. He got up and promptly left, making me wonder if he'd only wandered in here looking for food as an excuse. Had he intended just to talk to me? I couldn't tell. Taiga was always like that. You can never really tell if he was helping out or if it was just coincidence. But... that's right. I forgot something that's really important. I'd been pretty badly stressed in more ways than one. My own problems loomed large in my head, squeezing out the reason why it happened in the first place. The reason that Hibari got so mad. The reason that she'd been so stunned she cried. You kiss-stealing clown! Get out of my life! Yeah, I can't ever claim that I understand women's emotions ever again, can I? Not after that. My happy mood cooled instantly. I still owe her, don't I? I stood there, stirring the curry with my face as pale as milk until Naita barged in and startled me so badly I nearly set myself on fire. But never mind that. Poor guy, so flighty. Hibari should be getting out of school any time now. If I'm going to apologize to her properly, the sooner is better than later. But this issue was too big to apologize over Wiz, or even in the house, which was populated by a bunch of rumor-loving monkeys who loved to get in the way. It's going to have to be somewhere else, but how do I even bring up the matter to her? I thought for a while, then pulled out my phone. I guess it's gotta be all or nothing. I know this is sudden, but do you have free time this weekend? I want to take another crack at a date with you. The little red notification popped up on it instantly. My heart was pounding in my ears, and my fingers were starting to shake, but I held it together enough to type out the next message. I want to apologize for what happened last time, and I want to talk. Depending on her reply, I might have to come up with a completely different idea. I stared at my phone, barely blinking, waiting for her to reply. Ping, a message. My schedule is open. I'll be home soon, though. Why not ask me in person? Yes! She said yes, kind of. The tension left my body in a rush. Hibari's answer was so typical of her that I grimaced as I typed out a reply. Sorry. I didn't think I could take the shock of you saying no to my face. Still, I'm glad you can go. Thanks. I wasn't in the right mindset to gussy up my words. I wound up being completely and entirely raw with her, but I figured that was probably for the best. Heck, no point in worrying about my image now. She's seen me bawl like a baby. On that depressing note, I heard a ping from my phone, another message. If you say so, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, I'm shocked she'll still say something like that to me. I read and reread her reply, feeling a little tickle of joy in my heart. But yeah, a redo, eh? This had started as just an excuse to find a good place to apologize to her, but the term redo was starting to sound more and more perfect for it. I was feeling like this time, I might even be able to manage what Hibari had always asked for too, a date we could both enjoy. You know, this date just might wind up being the turning point I need. Mumbling that to myself, I flopped back on my bed and started thinking. Right, the turning point is going to be a turning point. It's like at the end of the board. Alright, what's the next chapter? The shocking truth! A redo of our last disastrous date. I think Ichiya will finally open up about his past, but what? Let's play this event. It ought to be about time. I fidgeted, glancing at my watch as I waited for my companion to arrive. It was the same location where we had our first date. Ichiya had suggested it. I gave it some thought, and it hit me that maybe we could retry our first date. How does that sound? Retry it? Yeah. Go to a movie, stop at a cafe for coffee, do some window shopping, and then go to dinner at a restaurant with a beautiful view. I think that by going through the same steps as we did before, it'll be a little easier to see what about me has changed. Alright, I think that sounds nice. Apparently, Ichiya had put far more effort into this redo date than I thought he would. Maybe that's why standing around and waiting for him was making me much more nervous than I thought it would. Last time he said something about how meeting up somewhere was part of the date. I think I'm starting to see why. Watching the seconds tick by while waiting for someone you want to see made butterflies dance in your stomach. I should probably calm down. Yes, I needed to be calm so that I can maintain my composure, even if he ambushes me like he did before. Aha! Hi, Hibari. Sorry to make you wait. I hope you weren't waiting long. I'm glad you can make it. Oh, no. It wasn't long. I didn't mind. Really? Great. Wow, he's acting really normal. Like that's all it took. Like, just be normal and she'll like you, she'll love you even. There was no strange tension. He wasn't acting overly attentive, and he wasn't ceaselessly flattering me. Instead, he smiled at me. A natural, relaxed smile. I blinked, reminding myself that this was indeed still Ichiya. What a refreshing change. Thanks a lot for going along with my redo idea, by the way. I really appreciate it. Whatever. I didn't have any other plans for the day. Besides, I wanted a chance to speak with you properly, too. Ichiya nodded, holding his hand out to me, but it wasn't mine to take. It was a handshake. I hesitated for a second, and then hesitantly reached out to take it. So, yeah. Again, thanks for coming. I promise I'll make this a date to remember. Wait, no, I take that back. Let's make it a date to remember, both of us, together. We started to walk, leisurely strolling along, almost exactly the same path we'd taken the first time. First, we stopped by the movie theater. We picked a nice movie and enjoyed it while once again sitting in a couple seat. Then we moved on to a cafe, where we relaxed and chatted about our impressions of what we've watched. Man, that was an amazing movie. The whole thing about the monster becoming an ally there at the end took me totally by surprise. What took me by surprise was that we would go and actually watch a superhero ranger movie together. Nayata recommended it really highly. That made me curious to check it out. He's like, let's go watch some Sentai Warriors. I hate to admit it, but it was definitely more fun than I had expected. Personally, I'd wanted to see the big budget fantasy film that's playing too. Well, that's your fault for losing at rock, paper, scissors. We'll go see that movie next time. Okay, that's something Ichiya wanted to do. I'll hold you to that, just so you know. Well, that means there's gonna be another date in the future. I wrinkled my nose at him, then took a sip of my cafe latte. Yes, our date together. Ichiya had taken me to see a superhero ranger flick. That was not the kind of movie I expected him to like. It seemed much more Nayata sort of thing, but maybe the impression he'd given before was all just posturing, and he genuinely liked action movies aimed at younger people. Still, sorry for pushing my choice on you like that. I wish we could have watched both of them. No, that's alright. You won rock, paper, scissors fair and square. Besides, I enjoyed the movie we wound up seeing. Anyway, I prefer not getting my way on occasion instead of you ignoring your own wants and deferring to me on every little thing. Dolph isn't blushing. But what? Nothing. I was just thinking that we really are on a date. See, I'd always thought dates were supposed to be events where the guy makes the girl feel special by giving her anything she wants. But, you know, there's something nice about exchanging opinions, about discussing things and being able to laugh over small disagreements. It's way different than what I thought. I think I could get used to dates like this. Do you really have to say date over and over? What? Is this not a date to you? It is. He must have been satisfied that I dragged those words out of me, because he chuckled and looked down at the flyers he grabbed back at the movie theater. One of them was for the movie that we had watched the last time we came here on a date. He looked at it fondly, then said, "Do you remember? When we watched this movie, you said its main character resembled me almost perfectly. Unfortunately, that's not true. I mean, I'll get to be with you a lot more from now on. I'm way, way luckier than this guy." Oh. Before he would have delivered his patented cheesy wink alongside his compliment. But now his words almost sounded shy, and he dropped his eyes away from mine. Is this really Ichiya? He said he wanted this date to show me how much different he was now. I was definitely noticing. And I was also not entirely unaffected either. They say time flies when you're having fun. I can't argue that fact. Before we knew it, night had fallen. The final stop we'd chosen for our date was, of course, the same restaurant we'd gone to before. If I'm going to bring up the question on my mind, it's going to have to happen here. We enjoyed a pleasant dinner, a quarter of my mind working over how best to approach the subject. I had quite a lot of fun tonight, but now I have to get to the real point of this date. We finished the main dish and chatted happily, waiting for desserts to arrive. Ichiya finished his sentence, then paused. He took a breath and straightened up, a nervous look in his eyes. I felt a prickle of nerves too. It was time. First, thank you for today. No, thank you. I called this a redo, but I have to admit I was worried. It seemed like I was having way more fun this time, and I wasn't sure if that's okay. I suppose you've been noticeably different today, compared to the way you used to be. Probably because you've already seen all the worst, most pathetic parts of me. That's, well, the real me, I guess. I think you've seen parts of me I haven't shown anyone else, ever. You saw those flaws, Hibari, and you forgave them. I don't think there was anything to forgive. Still, it was a big thing for me. A critical thing. Looking back, I think I was taking advantage of your kindness. Yeah, you're probably thinking, what, you only just realized? But I did, and I want to apologize. For what? For getting a big head and deliberately trying to set a mood that would let me manipulate you. And, I'm sorry for stealing your first kiss. My eyes popped open in shock. I hadn't expected him to touch on that. I was so stunned by how badly I misread your signals, and upset that I could barely think. The idea that I might be stealing that kiss didn't even register. I like to think I understand girls well enough to know how important a first kiss can be for them. Yes, I know. Any apology now is too little too late, but I still want to offer it. I'm sorry, Hibari. Ichiya bowed, deeply. I stared at him, feeling conflicted. The apology was appreciated, but I had a bad feeling about what was coming next. I really hope it isn't true, but is he going to do what? I gulped, then spoke. My voice was soft. Please, Ichiya, sit up. If you're still worried about that, don't be. It's okay. No, don't forgive me so easily. No matter how kind you are, that's not it. Don't go into self-deprecation mode, please. If I'm being honest, the sight of you crying like you did was such a shock that what happened during our last date has stopped mattering to me. What? Yes, it did sound weird to say that something which upset me so badly that I hit him, twice, could vanish simply because I witnessed his emotional outburst. But it was true. So, digging it up again is kind of embarrassing. Could we both agree to drop it and never bring it up again? But it's fine. It didn't count. It was all some big mistake and we can forget about it. Period. I leaned over the table, resisting the urge to smack my palm against it. Ichiya looked at me, obviously confused, but eventually he nodded. Well, if you're okay with it, I guess I can forget it. Good. Do so. I was starting to notice that whenever I talked with Ichiya, things tended not to go the way I expected. Suppose that meant we weren't all that compatible. I sighed, feeling silly about how nervous I'd been about this. Unconsciously, I mumbled. Is this all that he wanted to talk about? Now I feel silly. I totally had the wrong idea. Yeah, it was, but... Wait. What did you think this was going to be about? Hibari's like ready for the next step. It's like she wants to know more about his past. He's still hung up on that though. Well, I paused for a second, searching for the words. I thought it would be about your past. I mean, yes, you were crying at the time, but you did bring up a bit, in between sobs. It's always been this way, even back when I was a boy. I thought I'd finally grown up a little, but under it all, I'm still the same old pathetic kid. No matter how hard I try, nobody loves me. I just want to be loved by anyone. I tried to work for it, tried to learn how to make people happy so they love me. I worked so hard to be the kind of boyfriend anyone would be proud to have. I tried to be kind, considerate, a man who'd give you anything. Even back during our first interview, you deliberately avoided talking about your past, remember? But when I found you in your room, it was different. I thought you were okay with talking about it now. I peeked over at Ichiya to check his reaction and blinked. His face was pale as milk. Uh-oh, he's not ready. This does seem like a good time to ask and all. If I said I wanted to know, would you be willing to talk about it? I tried to phrase it gently, but one look at his haunted expression told me what his answer was going to be. I'm sorry. No, I just want you to wait for now. I didn't plan to bring it up at all today. You kind of knocked me for a loop by just mentioning it. Ichiya. I know. I have to tell you someday, but that day isn't today. To be honest, I'll have to gather up a lot of courage before I can talk about it. I'm still scared. I could tell that he wasn't faking his anxiety simply to get out of telling me. His admission that he was scared was a big step for him too. Do you really intend to tell me? I do. Honest. If I have any hope of you choosing me, it's going to have to come out eventually. How long are you going to make me wait? Well, I do hope I can bring it up sooner rather than later. Ichiya's gaze started wandering as he looked everywhere except at me. I told him, I believe you. Alright, leveled up his sword. Alright, I'll believe you. I too have memories that hurt too much to think about. Memories of things that I've done. You do? What's with the look, Did you take me for a sheltered princess who can't possibly have any bitter memories? Well, no, but... I don't mind, really. If I don't look that way to you, then that's alright. I don't go out of my way to make it look like I have those memories, after all. Some things we just want to hide. Hide if we can. Everyone has memories like that. Hibari. But in my case, I have to know. I can't say that you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Just like Ichi had said before, if our relationship continued to grow, there was only one place it could wind up. Marriage. And if it did turn out that I'd chosen to be my groom, I would need to know about that past. In fact, I think I needed to know about it before I could choose him. Promise me you'll tell me about it sometime, okay? And soon. I may lose patience and decide to choose one of the others over you instead. When I do, will you tell me about some of your bitter memories too? Maybe, if I remember. Her dark past. I mean, probably doesn't have like too many. Like as a high schooler, I'm pretty sure like Ichiya probably has like a really, really dark past. Okay, I promise. I giggled a little at my words, double meaning. Our talk was productive, but it kind of killed the evening's light mood. An awkward silence fell over us as we ate our desserts. We said our goodbyes to the lovely skyline view and put the restaurant behind us. You know, I don't want tonight to end on this note. I had honestly enjoyed our date. It seemed like a waste to let it end in awkward silence. Say, Ichiya? I reached out and tugged at his sleeve. Surprised, he turned and looked at me. What is it? Oh, do you need to visit the powder room, perhaps? A polite way of saying that you need to take a piss or a poo. No, that's not it. Whoops, I hadn't thought of what I was gonna say next. Oh gosh, what do I do? I don't know what to say. Ichiya looked at me in confusion as I stuttered. desperately searching for words. But right then... you're ignoring a lovely young lady invitation? That's hardly something a worthwhile man would do. Wait, who's this? Huh? I nearly jumped out of my skin as I spun to see who had spoken up beside us. Kazu? Okay, well, they certainly are different people. Now I kind of regret giving him, like, kind of the same voice. I could probably make it work. His name popped out of my mouth before I could stop it. I snapped my jaw shut before anything else came out. The friendship between Kazu and I was supposed to be our secret. Why is he here? I glanced over at Ichiya to see his reaction, and nearly gasped. Uh-oh. Okay. Recognition. He wasn't looking at me at all. He was standing still, completely frozen in shock. He was staring right at Kazu, his eyes wide as dinner plates. Bullets of cold sweat ran down his face. That isn't the reaction I expected. I'm sorry, Hibari. I'd hoped to avoid doing something this uncouth, but the timing was just too perfect. Like, see them side by side. Clearly they're related. No, it's okay. You've already heard it from Ichiya, right? Huh? Kazu said Ichiya's name. It rolled off his lips like he was well accustomed to saying it. He didn't call him Mr. Perfect Boyfriend. Heard what from Ichiya? I don't know what you're talking about. You said you would ask him about his past during tonight's date, so I was sure he must have told you. It's too soon for him. Aha. Given that reaction, I assume he didn't. I had a feeling he wasn't going to spill anything. Well. Kazu? I'm confused. Please tell me what this is all about. Of course. That's why I came tonight, after all. With that, Kazu took off the hat and sunglasses that he had always worn around me. For the first time, I got a good look at his face. My eyes flew open, and I desperately smothered a shriek of surprise. He was... Are we gonna CG for this? It was me all along! Dio! What is... Yeah, I thought letting you see me like this would be the quickest way to get everything in the open. His eyes, which used to be hidden by sunglasses, sparkled with a mischievous glint. But his face... No way. Still not certain I could believe what I saw, I turned to look at the man standing next to me. You look just like Ichiya. My eyes bounced between the two men. Their hairstyle and their clothes were the only difference I saw. This would be like so dramatic. Like, pulls off sunglasses. It is actually me, Ichiya's evil twin. Like, what is this soap opera we're in? And then they glared at each other. Allow me to introduce myself, properly this time. My name is Kazuya Shinzaki. I'm Ichiya's older twin brother. Yes! This is like a soap opera! What is this? Also, wait, do they have different last names? Ichiya's last name is Mr. Mitsumori, because I always have trouble saying it. But yeah, they're twin brothers. Why do they have different names? Okay. Also, he's the older twin too. I'm not sure what his name means. I thought Ichi means like number one, right? You think, I mean, it would be kind of weird if his name was like Nia or something. I don't know if they named children like that, like number one and number two. But I wonder what, Does kazu mean anything in Japanese? Like, I think kaze means like wind, but I don't know. This is twin. Two of the, but now there are two of us. Yeah, though really, Ichiya, come on. At times like this, you're supposed to step up and be the one to introduce me. You're not good at the whole adult thing, but it's just proper manners for a grown-up. Kazuya! Ichiya said Kazuya's name. His voice sounded thin and strangled. That's not the tone you'd expect someone to use with their own twin brother. How do you know Hibari? What are you to her? Just some lucky serendipity, that's all. But never mind that. I really think you ought to start explaining before I do for you. Ichiya looked at least as confused as I was feeling. The hairstyle looks kind of weird. It's like, okay, we'll make his wavy and his straight. They look different. What should I say? What should I do? I stood there frozen, unable to decide. Ichiya? Is it true that he's your brother? Hibari. He winced, then slowly nodded. He moved like it was painful to acknowledge the fact. It's true. Kazuya and I are twins. Oh, wait. They're twins. Would that play into the alleged marriage fraud, maybe? They could have done, like, a parent trap thing, but with, like, a lady instead. Maybe Kazuya did, like, attempted marriage fraud? And, like, the charge stuck to Ichiya instead. Okay, that's kind of a sticky situation when there's, like, two people who look alike, and then you gotta be like, who done it? Though, due to circumstances, he has a different name now. We actually haven't seen each other in a while. He didn't tell you about any of it, did he? No. Kazuya, seriously, could you not, please? I'm afraid I have to. Otherwise, I wasted my time by coming all the way here. What? If you were able to tell her everything about who you really are and what happened in your past, I would have acknowledged that you're truly serious about her. He just needed more time, dude. Why is everything have a deadline? As your brother, I thought I'd even offer you my belated blessings. Blessings? Yeah, but you didn't take the plunge. Kazu lifted his shoulders in a shrug. See, Hibari. So Hibari's been coming to me for advice about you a lot lately. Advice? Kazu! Sorry, I know I said to keep it secret, but that's meaningless now. She's a serious, honest girl. The more I talked to her, the more clear that became. And that's why I started to become concerned. Ichiya, why did you become one of Hibari's suitors? What's your core reason for doing it? Are you trying to get with her simply because you want to show me up? Wait a minute. Why, what? Why are we showing you up in particular? You're not a suitor. Kazuya! That's it, right? You know that I was... Shut up! No, I won't. You know what I was planning on getting married to her. Wait, is he the suitor the Branch family chose and Grandpa was just like, no, wait, I'm gonna pick the twin. What? Sorry, Hibari. As you probably guessed by now, the two of us may be twins, but we don't get along very well. I knew who you were when we met, and I apologize for not letting you in on that. But I'm being honest when I say I was concerned for you. Kind of a coinky-dink thing then that we met him. Did he, like, plan it all out like that? If Ichiya really was only trying to seduce you to score points off me, I wanted to know so I could step in and stop him. Just to score points off you? Wait, no, that's not it. Kazuya has nothing to do with it. I wasn't trying to score points off him or anything when I decided to become one of your suitors. I swear, Hibari. Oh, really? If that's so, how come you never told her who you really are? Well, Doesn't seem very sincere of you to court the lady while hiding inconvenient truths from her. I didn't mean... Ichiya fidgeted nervously, so pale I almost had to pity him. Kazuya just started at him, exasperated. Stuck between the warring siblings, I said. Barricade battle! This doesn't seem like the right time for it, but okay. Maybe this, like, depending on this outcome, we either, like, defend or disparage Ichiya. Fall down! Okay. It doesn't seem the right time for that, but... Kazu, I'm not sure I fully understand what you're saying now. This was very sudden, and to be honest, I'm still a bit confused. You're twins? Who's scoring off whom? I have so many questions about what's going on. But let me say one thing to you first. Ichiya did intend to tell me everything eventually. He made that promise to me. Hibari. I trust him to keep it. I spoke firmly, looking right at Kazu. He smiled and answered like an adult explaining things to a child. Well, as his brother, I'm happy to hear you speak nicely about him. But don't you think it's unwise to make declarations like that? Especially when you don't know everything. Okay, let's he's gonna tell us eventually. Don't, like, let it be on his terms. It could be on, like, in a few weeks. He's a sensitive guy. He's gotta put everything together. Don't you think you're being much too cold about all this, Kazu? Huh? I can't say I know what's happening, but I don't think it's fair to effectively ambush Ichiya and then corner him with a flurry of accusations. The Kazu I know would be able to hold an informative conversation without resorting to this kind of heavy-handed bludgeoning. Kazu looked at me, then smiled and shook his head. Ah. You really are an honest girl, Hibari. Almost too honest. If you want, Hibari, I'm fully prepared to explain everything to you right here and now. In detail. From the beginning. Wait a minute. Hibari, I'm sorry to ask this of you, but... could you please go home without us? Huh? But... please. I'm not trying to weasel out of this, I promise. There's something I want to talk to Kazuya about in private. Well, this evening has thoroughly confused me. I could use some time to collect myself. I glanced over at Kazu. Where Ichiya seemed tense, Kazu was the opposite. He relaxed in his seat, looking confident and completely in control. Did that mean he didn't care either way? I thought for a moment, then nodded at Ichiya. Alright. But I can't wait forever for this. I hope you understand that. As soon as you finish discussing things with Kazu, arrange a place where we can talk, understood? I will. Thanks. A faint grin twitched at the edges of Ichiya's lips. Beside him, Kazu suddenly reached out his hand. Here, my card. If you're curious about who I am, take that and show it to Mr. Takamune. I'm sure he'll tell you everything you want to know. To grandfather? Yeah, see you later, Hibari. Kazu waved at me as if he were parting after a typical lighthearted meeting at the cafe. Conflicting feelings struggled inside me. Let me walk you to the car. No, it isn't that far. I'll be fine. Take care, Ichiya. I turned down Ichiya's offer, gave both men a polite bow, and then turned my back to them. I have to calm down and get my thoughts together. I needed time to think, time to go over everything I'd learned, time to figure out what was going on. But first, I climbed into the car sent to get me and looked down at the card in my hand. Then I said to the driver, "The main estate in Kamakura, please." What I needed most right now was accurate information. Oh, we're going right to grandfather. All right, the shocking truth. It was a brother all along. Okay. I should have guessed it. Like, come on. If it's not if Kazu isn't Ichiya, then of course, like, they've done twins before, right? In Otome games? Even or at High School Host Club had twins. They played the little switcheroo game all the time. Okay. This chapter here is usually like a short epilogue. But I think I will save it for next time, and then we'll dive into the third board. Okay, I need a little break here. Some revelations here. Now we gotta what's this about Ichiya's past? And why is he so traumatized? Like, seeing his brother, he just paled. He just freaked him the heck out. Doesn't look too good for Kazu. He's a lot more confident than Ichiya. And yeah, I don't think Ichiya's trying to show up his brother though, because I mean, grandfather handpicked all the guys. So maybe he thought Kazu wasn't gonna be a good match. Maybe Ichiya's a little bit more human. A little bit more human than that. All of them have their weird quirks, but maybe he wanted to see if Hibari likes someone sensitive. Alrighty, let's save. Take a little break, need to rest my voice. Maybe take a shower or something, I don't know. It gets really hot in my room. It's gonna dread summer. Might have to do some more swimming when it gets hotter. Alright, saved. Alrighty, hope you guys are having a fun and relaxing time. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.